Right.
I like the plan.
Is Bob gonna be
I
here?
like the plan as far as I know. I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
Okay.
There he is.
Ta-da!
Speak of the devil.
We're just waiting for the go-ahead.
Hi, Bob.
Hi there. Happy summer. Dennis?
Happy end of summer.
It's almost over,
It's
man.
never really
don't
the
say
end of
that.
summer yet.
No, it can't be.
We'll talk in January. We'll see if you're wearing shorts, flip-flops, and a t-shirt then.
Yeah. College, I made it to November and then it just got too bad.
One of my friends wears them.
We're good? Okay, because it's not showing up.
Yeah, there's some issues, but it's still recording.
Okay, cool.
Yes, I was just who.
All right, I will call the meeting to order. It is 7:01, and if we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. The
you get
first
all your-
order
Were you
is
only the
public
town
input. We do not have anybody sitting in the room. There may be people yelling at their TVs, but
We can't hear you.
yes. Review and additions to the agenda. I did have one item that we received a resignation, so we will be taking that up under correspondence, which also means we need to appoint a new member, and we also need to vote on a vice chair. So those are the three things that we are adding to the agenda tonight. We have two sets of minutes. We postponed the ones from May so that people would have more opportunity to take a look at them. So, and then we have the set from June. I don't know if you want to do them one by one, or
We
if,
might,
Motion. Oh.
we might need to do them separately, right? Because did everybody attend both meetings?
Yeah, no, I
that's
don't think
probably
so.
true.
I make a motion to approve the May
25th?
minutes.
Seconded.
Okay. Any changes, deletions, corrections, anything? All right, if not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstain?
Aye.
Okay, so there's one abstention. So we are tonight, we are 8, so that would be 701. The June 22nd minutes, the only thing I noticed is the date at the top was wrong.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry.
That was the only thing I noticed.
That was my fault. Senior moments.
That's summer, it's summer.
So if nobody else has any changes, I'll accept a motion.
Make a motion to approve them as adjusted, amended.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the June 22nd minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
Aye.
I think I have 3 abstentions, yep. So that is 503.
Excuse me.
All right, so correspondence, I did forward you a letter of resignation from Andrew. He, due to some unforeseen, personal reasons, has decided he's not able to continue on the budget committee. And he expresses his appreciation for all of the, support and opportunity he's had to learn. So usually just a formality if we could accept that resignation.
Can I make a motion to accept the resignation?
Do we have to?
Technically, we don't have to do it at all, but it's sort of a formality. You kind of accept.
I know, but if we don't accept it, does that mean he has to come back?
No, actually, that's not how it works, because otherwise.
Fine, then I'll second.
You can just second for discussion if you. So it's been made and seconded to accept with appreciation the resignation with appreciation for all the work he's done, the resignation of Andrew Cutter. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We all are, we know. Abstain. Okay. So that brings us to, Andrew was the vice chair. So we do need a vice chair because our next meeting I have a conflict and I will not be here. So we need somebody to either volunteer or we can coerce somebody into it.
Hey, Bob.
Listen, I'm going back to the midnight shift, September 4th. You do not want any piece of me as the vice chair or in any zip code at my age and that hours. So I'm, for the continuity and the love of this board, I do not want any of that. Yes. So, yes.
Dear.
Because, yeah, it will not go well.
Okay.
Carrie.
And Carrie, would you consider it?
I would.
You're,
I appreciate the consideration.
you're well-versed in taking my place.
You just, yeah, it would be the quickest meeting in the history of this board.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Somebody would be down, I'd be like, all right, let's go, pledge allegiance.
First thing is amending the minutes
Yeah.
or the agenda, right, gone.
A couple of emojis and we'd call it even. Yeah. that would
All
be
right,
it.
do we want to, is anybody else interested? Do we want to make it
I'll
formal?
make a motion to nominate Carrie.
Second.
It's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
I'll abstain.
Okay. Thank you, Carrie, for stepping forward.
I appreciate the consideration and thank you.
Still miss Bob's grounds.
So you,
Can still bring them up.
so you get to hit the ground running in
There you
September. So we will jump right in then to reports. The top one is school business. We did have some information that went around about a month ago, I think.
So, yeah.
End of the year information, enrollment information, which I believe we have
Yeah, I have
updates
updated.
to. So we'll just
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
let you talk about whatever's going on in the school district right now.
Well, school starts Monday, so that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
For some of us, it's exciting. I was fortunate enough to attend the, kind of the kickoff to the season when all the teachers came back. For the, district awards and recognition of teachers that have been in the district for 5, 10, 20, 25, and 30 years. So that was pretty remarkable to see. Everybody seems to be very excited and looks like it's going to be a good year. So as you can see, the enrollment has gone up at GMS. And Michelle, you said LMS had 18 more students?
18 more students.
Then what's on the sheet or in,
It's reflected,
on the,
These are
The
the
new
all
sheet
that is
numbers.
reflected in there, yeah.
oh, okay.
So plus 18 since the last report or plus 18 since like projections?
Since June.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there could even be more than 18 since June, but 18 were just added
Okay.
that I know of this week, and I had just done the bus routes. So. And then
Get to
10
do
more
those
at
again.
GMS, so now I have to redo the bus routes.
So that's, that brings us to,
And that's without pre-K, so. I didn't add
yeah, I was
pre-K.
just looking what we got, which was basically the end of the school year at, the middle school, we ended with 447, so now we have 430. And,
Fifth grade class.
and we ended the year at GMS with 433.
At GMS? 433?
That's including
That's
Oh, that's
including
including
pre-K.
pre-K, I'm sorry. So.
That's it.
So it looks like my math is correct, 387, which was K through 4. So now we have, so we're pretty stable, we're up 1 there. High school, we end the year with 464, we have 486. So the little bit of bubble is now passing through the high school. So, yeah, so they're fairly stable then. Still a little down at the middle school, but fairly stable from the end of the school year.
Close eye on that
Yeah.
as we go forward.
According to Facebook, everyone wants to move to town.
That is the Just that I'm getting too.
Mhm.
I mean, it feels like every other day on either the mom's page or the WhatsApp page, somebody's like, hi, moving to town, looking
Mhm.
for a recommendation on trash.
Yeah.
Hit the search button up top.
Right. I met a few families today. I was doing the PTO table outside GMS for the meet and greet, and I met quite a few families. I met one that's moving Monday,
Mhm.
after I think they drop their kids off at school and go to the Boohoo Yahoo breakfast. Then they're moving that day, and one moved just this past week. So
Mhm.
it's still
Mm-hmm.
happening.
Yeah.
It's pretty encouraging, actually. I think it's
It is, because the housing market has been depressed for so long. I think there's quite a few houses of people whose kids have been through the system and have just been waiting.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think so.
Yep.
too. That's kind of what we're seeing.
Totally agree, yep.
Yep. Oh. All right, and we also received some information about the end of the year encumbrances. And of course, these are, the numbers were unaudited, but it gives us an idea of what it looked like on July 1, or June 31st, I should say.
Was that the one you forwarded it on August 6th?
Could be.
I think so.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what date I put. Yep. Yep. So it looks as though the unassigned fund balance unaudited is $484,286. And it appears that,
For the general fund.
for the general fund, yep. And it appears that about 250,000, so, no, this is just from these sheets that we got, about 250,000 was spent ahead. Building, curriculum, and technology. Technology being the big one. Is that correct? So that's pretty significant leftover at the end of the year. I did not do my math to see what the budget committee cut that year. I know it was a very, there were some significant cuts, and I know there was a lot of concern over those cuts. But to still end the year with almost $500,000 is a pretty good, I don't want to use the word cushion, but it's a pretty good buffer from the ins and outs of that happened through the year.
And
Yeah.
how much was the budget up this year?
Do I have that easily accessible? 2016, wait, changes on January. I don't know that I have, I don't know that I have that. No, this is just 2007 operating budget. I don't have that number.
I might have it.
Well, I mean, this was from the 900 that got cut to 500, and we still were killed on. We still did it for 500 grand.
Yeah, I mean.
Was this the first budget with the new superintendent, or was this still left over from?
He came on in 15, 16.
So this will be his third year. He's been here 2 years. No, I think this was the first budget he came in on.
That he came on?
Yeah, the first budget he came in on, that development of this budget.
Mhm.
Just grants.
Yeah, so I don't have, all I have is the budget that we worked on. I don't have the comparison to the previous year. We made in the, oh, wait a minute. $731,000 is up
This year?
between 17 and 18, yep. 3.1%, 17% increase. So 731.
So this year is,
Potential for 1.2.
yeah.
So 500,000 and 700, yeah.
Plus, well, I guess you can't double count what was already spent, what was encumbered.
Well, you can, because it wouldn't have encumbered it, because it was already budgeted in next year's.
Well, I'm just saying, whether you count, whether you,
When it was budgeted or when it was spent.
Cindy kind of added it back in
Okay.
to the fund balance that was left. Or were you saying that included the 250?
No, the 480,
Okay.
whatever was after the,
Oh, so you do need to add in another 250, so it's really like 1.5 million difference between what was spent in
Budgeted.
17
And what's budgeted for next year?
and what's budgeted for next year.
that's pretty
Probably shouldn't
significant.
need that special ed reserve, should we?
I'm just saying, you know,
Well, it was voted on, and.
yes, but we could discuss that.
I'm not going down the road,
Because,
just-
The email that came out the week before the budget vote was kind of,
But this brings us back to, this is why we try to look at averages. We know it's a year and a half, almost 2 years ahead. There's going to be changes, but that's why we look at averages. And when we, propose reductions, it's not to be mean, it's not to say those programs aren't necessary, but it's because, on average, after a year and a half, a lot of money goes back.
yeah, so we effectively taxed our residents 500 grand more than we needed to.
And we're returning it to them.
Yep, it goes to offset
How the process
in
works.
the fall, yep.
I don't know, the way I look at my own personal finances is I'd rather be like overly
Cautious.
right and have more money. If I don't need it, then it goes back into savings.
So I would expect we wouldn't spend that 250K on technology this year, because we already spent it in June.
Yeah, I've
We
made my.
spent 150 on technology.
sorry,
The rest was
150.
curriculum and facilities.
Yep.
So the one,
All that I would have to double check, but I believe the majority of what was budgeted was purchased ahead. A second year in a row, and I did make my point that that's not gonna happen 3 years in a row.
it shouldn't.
Not by me anyways. Anything,
Can I make a little teeny comment of
Sure.
clarification? To Dennis's comment about sped. Just remember that there were only about 50,000 left in the sped budget. We can't use regular education money for sped.
Sure you
You
can.
know,
Yep.
We can't transfer over.
Bottom
Can't go
line
the other
budget.
way based on the
I
informal
thought the
agreement.
last time they
Bottom
said
line.
you couldn't interchange the two.
This actually
Yeah.
says there was 131,000 in special ed at the end of the year left over
and
for special
That is
programs.
It's also unaudited, so.
No, I
Yes,
I get it.
and that's after the budget committee made reductions, and then the school district made reductions when they revamped the budget after voting. So there was about another, I think, almost $200,000 that the school district took out. So it's a pretty healthy
I'm gonna
balance.
sharpen my big crayons.
Yes. But, I mean, again, it's not meant to be emotional or punitive, but just,
I did ask Corey for the attrition numbers that you had asked for
Mhm.
at the last meeting too, and he said that they're currently entering all the salary information into financial software, so if he
Yep.
wants to he'll get the updated numbers by the next meeting.
okay, awesome,
So,
awesome. Anything else, any other questions?
How are you staffed to start the year?
we're doing pretty well. We have, sorry. We had 33 openings over the summer. Most of them were due to resignations or shifting. We had some movement, a lot of movement within the district. And then, I think we've hired all but 6 positions, and those are, for paras and, subs, long-term subs, but we have a full staff of teachers ready to go, so we did pretty well. Oh, and we had, the new curriculum director, a new food service director, a new business administrator, so we're moving forward.
The situation with the grounds was under contract at the tail end of last year?
Yeah, I think we've hired one or two new people in the grounds department.
Okay,
and
so there's no intention to use contractors?
Right, we haven't contracted out. We're
Okay.
back in-house now.
So, I know you received some reports on, there was the building-wide,
Oh, yeah, the assessment.
assessment.
Still
And I know
waiting
you've
for the-
received some reports, but I'm not sure, so if you can bring us up to
Right.
speed on what's going on?
We're still waiting for the final copy of that assessment. Personally, I'm very frustrated by how long it's taking to. Basically, they did a pretty intensive study of the 1930s building. We had asked if they could kind of look into that and see if it was possible to renovate it, to use either as offices or for tutoring classrooms, and basically not so much. The structure is kind of crumbling. It's not even really suitable for storage anymore. So we're looking, moving forward, once we get that final report, we're gonna reconvene the building capital committee and we'll move ahead with some plans. Because as, we're at capacity now at GMS and LMS, and, our goal is ultimate goal is to get rid of the portable classrooms, but it looks like, if we are going to add a full-day kindergarten in, we may have to get some more for the time being before we can do that, so.
So it's interesting. I can't even remember now how long ago it was, but we had an assessment done of the 1930s building, and that's the
Same
conclusion they
thing.
came to. Probably 10 years ago at this point, I
Right.
think.
Right, yeah, I
Still
think
not
that's
okay.
about it. Yep, still not good.
Yeah, yeah,
Hasn't got any better.
No.
no.
Fairy dust didn't work.
And hoping.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Closing it up, not using it, oh, look, it's still the same. Any other questions, comments, concerns about the school that you need to? All right, moving on then to town business, just whatever is going on. I know there's a lot going on in terms of building proposals and whatnot, I think.
In the fire department, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So as a general update, from a budget perspective, we're at about 36% spent, or remaining, I'm sorry, which is, that's normal for this time of year. Obviously, the heavy hit is going to be the November, December timeframe. We start doing snow removal and road safety. There's some concerns in the budget. It didn't change from the last time. It's legal fees between Saco Bain and the Pennachuck property tax stuff. It's absorbed most of that budget. As I said earlier, there is some concerns. I think I said it last month too. It still continues to be there. The road maintenance budget is at less than 19%, and there's concerns that's not enough to do the normal storms we have during winter time. Again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the police department, the 2 cruisers that were funded in this year's appropriations are now fully in service. The 2 new officers that we hired are on the way to the academy, 16 weeks. One officer will come back and be able to go on full-time single duty officer versus having a training officer still. We did have an open position that we put out a position for, which is a replacement of one of our sergeants that moved on. We did get 55 candidates. The testing actually starts on Saturday.
Wow, that
So,
seems
yeah.
like a lot.
Yeah.
Popular
Think
place to work.
Specifically for sergeant or?
No, it's a
It's
patrol. Yeah. The department promoted within, so.
That's a great number.
Yeah, I think the last one we had a pretty high, but as they go through the testing, and a lot of it falls out, so you get out 55, if you get 4, you're really doing well.
Okay.
For every 100, you might get 7.
That's, good ratio there.
Yeah.
Obviously, because of the open positions, the training that's gonna happen with the 2 officers that are going to the academy, the department is watching the overtime lines and trying to cover it without significant impact to the budget, but we'll continue to monitor it. Within the town clerk's office, we talked about the part-time clerks. We did hire one earlier in the year when the existing clerk retired, and then we just hired a second one. As you recall, we're splitting the total hours between two parties to cover the shifts and to provide a little bit more service at the same cost. And she'll be going to training in September, so by the end of September, she'll be fully trained and be able to do work on her own. The fire department, septic Litchfield, work is still underway. It's still not 100% resolved yet. They figure all the construction will start in the early fall and be finished before the snow falls. As you talked about earlier, or mentioned it earlier, we are looking at proposals for a new fire station to be located up at Liberty Way. We have been working with the architects and planners, and we had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and they came forward with a sort of design concept, and now we've gone out to bid for RFQs for design and bid packages. We expect to have all those packages in either end of November, beginning of December, so we can start putting it towards a bond request or a warrant article. And I believe, Cindy, you had a meeting with the chair and the town administrator with regards to the fire department?
Yes, so the, myself, the selectman's chair, the town administrator, school board chair, and the superintendent and I met informally just to kind of see what people are doing in each, because we sort of tend to work in a bubble. The school district does things, the town does things, and it was my suggestion to the chair of the selectmen that you want to make sure that in the past when there's been competing projects, it hasn't been a good thing. So I think you want to, my recommendation was sitting down, seeing what's going on in the respective departments, and so we did have a meeting and decided that it was good, and we want to try to continue to do it a couple more times throughout the year.
Okay, the last board meeting, we accepted an additional highway block grant fund. I think I mentioned it, the last meeting that we were told we were gonna get some additional funding, we didn't know exactly the amount. We took in $172,648.92. So it was accepted, and it's now being put in towards projects that were scheduled for next year, to be done this year. The way the funding works, we can't use it for anything else but things that were not already budgeted for in the current fiscal year, or current budget year. Fire hydrants. We talked about it last time. The fire hydrants are becoming a challenge with the budget. With the increase of the fire hydrant count in town because of the construction of Pennachuck, and the increase that's coming towards us from Pennachuck, which is about 22%, we're looking at an appropriation request of $438,000 and $438,618, which our current budget is $296,000 roughly. So it's almost double.
Can we recover any of that from St. Cobain?
It's certainly on the list, and we've continued to do it, but we're not sure yet. At this point,
I think highly unlikely.
never say unlikely about anything, but but yeah, it's probably not likely. We're asking.
Doesn't hurt to ask.
No.
Always remember, no was just maybe till tomorrow.
Correct. Correct.
And we didn't ask for their chemicals.
Can we collect all the extra bottles that people are getting now that they have Pennachuck water and use that for the hydrants?
Yeah, maybe we can have a water
It's a logistical
sale.
nightmare. No one's stopping the deliveries, and things are so common.
I've got 15 cases of water if anybody wants it.
All I'm saying is we didn't pay for it, so we're good.
Huh.
As far as the budget activities, obviously the town's been working on their budget since July, actually. August is they've been doing department reviews with the town administrator. The town administrator and the department heads will start their process, bringing it forward to the Board of Selectmen at this coming Monday's meeting. So we'll start hearing those budget requests. And I believe at last check-in, the schedule still looked like it was aligning fine, and it was not going to be a challenge. There was some conversation around that one meeting that got dropped. Do we really need this? Do we not need this? So
Yeah.
let's just plow through this. Our budget's not that difficult.
Yeah.
So, but all in all, everything's going well from that perspective. So that's it for my updates. I don't know if anybody has any questions about anything that's been going on, but that's all I have.
All the building that's happening.
All the building, yeah.
There was, many years ago, a growth ordinance restriction that was put in place.
I remember that when I tried to move in town originally. It doesn't, as far as I know, it doesn't exist anymore.
It does not
It
exist
does not
anymore?
exist, but I can find out for you.
I'm just curious, because it limited, if I remember correctly, it was the average of the last 3 years of building permits going forward. So it didn't allow for the, build 100 homes and then,
Well, didn't somebody on this page say there's only like 200 lots left? There's not
But-
that much left to
There's not a
build.
lot of buildable land in town in general, and,
You'd be surprised.
farmland.
well, yeah, the farmland, but no, yeah.
Don't say never, right?
I believe the build-out could, when every lot of land is built on, I thought the population was 16,000. So,
Jeez.
yeah, so the town could double, assuming every available lot of land is built on. So there is still potential.
I'm just curious, A, if it's still there,
I'll find out for you.
and what are the numbers, and how,
I mean, remember, the projects that are out there now have been fully planned for a long
Oh.
time and have been approved by the planning board, and they're the ones that the ordinance would be in effect for,
yeah.
so. But I'll find out. I thought it was gone. I thought it expired, or was removed, but I'll double check.
I thought it was like voted and it was in. And it like was one of those, you gotta vote to get rid of it, but,
Yeah, I'll find out about it.
Unless it's sunset, unless.
But
yeah, I
that-
don't.
I
That doesn't
I
mean it
recall
can't
when
be
I
redone.
first, 20 years ago when I tried moving town, there was something like that in place, and there was restriction of lots you can build into. And the builder at the time said, wait a few more years, you'll be able to get in. So I waited a few more years.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'll ask, and if I'll get an update for you this week.
Okay.
All right, so we get budgets from the town every week. Is there any questions on anything? All right, so member input miscellaneous business. So we do need to talk about appointing a new member. I'm not sure how many people read letters in the paper. My suggestion is, it seems that and this is my concern, there's about, I think, 2,500?
2,200,
Yeah,
on
people
the
that follow
WhatsApp
at least the Litchfield Facebook page. That seems to have a very active group of people who are involved in, or at least want to know what's going on. So I was going to suggest putting something out there. However, that does leave out a lot of people who don't have technology or have social media. So
Wouldn't we be legally obligated to post it in a print paper, though?
we're not legally obligated to do anything.
Okay.
We could have somebody walk by, pick them, and
Yes.
I think both is fine. I think advertising on the WhatsApp page,
I think it's
because
excellent.
it has such a large following in the community, and doing the HLN, I think that's appropriate. I think honestly, I feel like we need to solicit people to join, so it doesn't seem like,
maybe
Apparently people don't think we're fun.
we could ask the
some
superintendent
pizza.
to include a notice in the packets that go home at the beginning of the year from the school district.
That's not a bad idea.
You know,
Oh.
an Amazon card.
so I feel like the district is going more and more like away from paper and trying to put more things
Yeah.
online. So I know GMS, you get like a big packet of paper. LMS, you get like this packet of paper, and by the time you get to the high school, you get like whatever might
No,
fall out of the back.
the packet is this big, it just never comes home from the high school.
It's in the locker on the last
Yeah,
day.
I'm not even
exactly.
sure it's even in the locker. I think we should check the recycle bins. You probably find all the
Realistically, a lot of
paper.
those parents are already active on those sites, so I think that if you hit the, like you're saying, the WhatsApp page, the mom's page, the paper,
That is a little bit more
covered a very wide demographic. and most-
exclusively like parent-based though. So if we are trying to represent the whole community, HLN, is there any other form of, I don't know.
Yeah, so our bylaws say committee shall advertise in local media and seek to appoint a person to the committee. So it doesn't specify what that
What type of
media
media?
is.
Can we do a couple of slides on the channel 22, 22?
That, we can find out, I know, we can probably put it on the town website, if the school district can also put it on their, do they have like just a general information page?
So we would ask a certain Michelle Flynn, if
I'm
that's a
sorry?
possibility.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening, I was typing.
Aren't you supposed to be doing minutes?
I am, but I can only listen so fast. I have one ear, Dennis, not two.
Just put a notice up on the
On
school
the
district
district-
website
I-
saying there's a vacancy in the budget committee and.
I will run
Likewise,
it by
the
the
town
superintendent. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say yes or no
Yeah.
because
And I'll,
trouble that way.
and I'll, put together a
we
little.
get it on the signboard?
Obviously, it would be, we would want interest before the next meeting.
And the GMS
The
signboard?
signboard, because you can get people on the way to the dump and like everybody.
There's a lot going on at the schools though, so I don't want to
Yeah, that was
take
kind
up
of my
space
reservation.
that they
The
need.
Town signboard.
Town signboard.
You can do the
Signboard.
town signboard, yeah.
That's
You
true.
just gotta call the office and have them put it up.
Yeah,
for
I
you.
just don't know how you would put in like 3 lines,
Yeah.
26 letters per line. Join
Amazon,
budget committee.
Amazon.
Please, please.
Show up on this date.
Honestly, I think,
Budget committee opening, September 28th,
Boom.
CHS 7 PM. Done.
That's
Yeah, but they- don't they have to send their-
Yeah, I think
really
it helps
that's
to
gonna
send
solicit
their-
someone?
You can't
I have no
hurt.
idea, but I know if we don't do it, it won't solicit anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you the What's Up page and,
Didn't you do the What's Up page, though? For the opening I filmed?
No.
You didn't?
I'm pretty sure.
I
don't
think
think
it
we
was,
did.
I think it was just, there was a resignation, this is what else we did at the meeting. I think it was
Yeah,
all
it was
part
a
of the whole meeting
update.
update.
You could put it on the side of the buses.
I'll
we could
write
just
up,
comment every time someone complains about something.
Hey, join the
Well,
budget
open-
committee.
I'll put something there. Maybe I'll do something, it can't hurt to put something in HLN anyways. And, send out and see if we can get it on the town website and the school website and see if we can get people. But I mean, if you know of people who have backgrounds and are interested in, numbers, ask them to get involved. We certainly, and I know
Ours pretty low.
Andrew was our data guy, so if somebody has
Wow.
some,
If you have a checkbook, come
Hey,
on down.
we'll take anybody. All you gotta do is say you're
bar's
gonna
pretty
show.
low.
That's all you gotta do is show up.
I'm
He's
offended.
talking about himself over there.
I mean,
well, it would be nice if somebody had some.
There's no special skills, is what I'm saying. The bar.
No,
It's
there-
not like you need to be in a
We kind of
crowd.
do need, it is helpful to
Admittedly,
have
and
some
over my
skills.
head.
You see that foot?
I stand by my
So,
statement and refuse to retract.
according to my informal search on the What's Up page, we didn't, Cindy, you posted information when, during the voting time period, but not when we were lucky enough
Well,
to
since
pick
we
it
don't
up.
have
it was-
Andrew anymore, maybe Jen's
I-
volunteering.
To do a little update, would you, because that is something that Andrew did that everybody liked, was a little update of a paragraph or two of, this is what we did at the meeting. So that is where he mentioned there was a resignation, so it was not a formal. So I will do a formal,
Right.
hey, get involved. But, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Jen, but if someone wants to do those little updates,
I
You
don't
gotta
feel
get
like
Jason
I
Brennan
do.
to come, and then you don't have to do anything.
well, that's
Right.
true.
Oh, yeah. You'll find him asleep in the last chair.
All right, well. I'll do this one, and we'll
Okay.
take it from here.
I feel like Andrew did such a good job with that, and he encompassed everything we talked about at the meeting.
He
If we
did.
sent him the minutes, would he still do it?
Andrew, are you watching?
Probably watching right now.
So, all right, so yeah, I'll send out some notices and see what we can get. It would be ideal to have at least the express of interest before, a few days before our next meeting, which is September 28th.
Man, they get to jump right in.
Yep. Well, the 28th would be, we would review whoever was interested and hopefully
Right,
make a
but
decision.
Town's not too far after that.
And then, that's true, our
Yeah.
first budget presentation is October 5th, so you're right, they would jump right in. Yep.
So what happens if we don't have a candidate? We just proceed with 8, and what happens with tie votes? And is there anything there's nothing in our bylaws that covers that, right? So,
Nope,
so tie votes or fails?
tie votes or fails.
We're gonna get somebody.
We are gonna get somebody.
Positive thinking.
Okay.
We're gonna have 3 candidates, and it's gonna be a tough decision.
Because there are,
Optimism, I'm throwing it out there.
I mean, I don't even know who you are anymore.
Wow, I think I'm offended by that.
I'm just kidding.
so, that is one thing that Troy did send around, just verifying the dates of positions that were coming up for election this coming spring. And there are going to be 4 openings
On the budget committee?
on the budget committee. Yes.
You're gonna have to
So,
double
gonna be-
the printing
couple
budget.
of you might have to re-up. And,
Better be
yes.
offering more than an Amazon card. My therapist said this was bad for me.
But always
I
during the
always
fun
finish
time.
what I start.
But always during
All
the
right.
fun on the school board.
Oh.
All right. So, any other member input, miscellaneous business, anything else you want to bring up, talk about?
Second shortest meeting ever.
Okay. Public input? Still nobody? All right.
Motion to
That's all I
adjourn.
have.
Second?
Second,
Made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 We are done.
peace out.
I will most likely be at the next